What's up, everybody? I am DJ Kazzeo, and welcome to Talkin All That Kazz. Now, what is Talkin All That Kazz? Real quick, breaking it down, before I even get to that, let me tell you this. You want to know anything, you want to connect with me on social media, go to this address right here, www.djkazzeo.com, alright? All my stuff's up there. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff is up there, okay? Now, for 27 years, over 27 years, I've been hosting a weekly radio show here at 90.9 FM KHTC in Salinas, California. Every one of the shows I've ever done that's in my library is now online. You can go to this address right here, mixcloud.com/DJ_Kazzeo to hear all the shows, all the music, all the interviews, everything. Okay? Now, speaking of interviews, maybe you don't have the time to go to Mixcloud and listen to the full shows, because there's thousands of hours of stuff to listen to. If that's the case, this is what Talkin All That Kazz is for. I've isolated all the interviews, taken the interview clips, put them in video form, and I'm posting them up here on YouTube for you guys to check out in a shorter time, alright? So you can just go, pick out whatever interview you want to check out, and here it is, okay? So, without further ado, let's see what I got in store for you this time around. That's right. Just a little bit past 7 o'clock right here on the West Coast. Yours truly, Kazzeo, in the building, doing it for you and yours. It is 90.9 FM, KHTC Radio Bilingue, and of course in Salinas and Monterey, and Santa Cruz, of course, 104.1 FM out there in San Benito County as well. And as I mentioned earlier, I got a special guest joining me on the line right now. Let me get everything going here. It feels like I have to have like 20 different arms to get everything popping here. Jessee B, what's happening, brother?
Hey, how are you, DJ Kazzeo? Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for taking the time to call in tonight, man. We got a few things to discuss.
My pleasure. It's my pleasure to be here. My pleasure. I'm really excited about it.
You know, I would say probably about maybe a year or so ago, maybe a little bit more than that, is when I first stumbled onto your music. Was that your first stuff that you were putting out, or had you done stuff prior to that?
It depends which single you're talking about, because my first single, when I returned back as a solo artist, which I'll explain that whole story when you're ready to commence with the interview. But
yeah,
my
sure.
my first single was Without Your Love. So are you speaking about that single or Time Gone?
No, Without Your Love is the first one I got. Then Time Gone I got, and then followed by This Is Life, and
right.
And then now the new one, which we're gonna get to in a few minutes. But yeah, so take me back to the beginning, man. Tell me the Jessee B story.
Okay, well, the Jessee B story dates back to the late '80s and early '90s. I used to be the lead singer of a old school freestyle singing group from Chicago, Illinois, called Legacy.
Okay.
And Group Legacy had put out several freestyle records. I want to say about 4 of them. One called Girls Do It Just for Fun, Stay With Me Tonight, The Time Is Right, and Culito. And those songs in Chicago, Illinois did very, very well in the early to mid-'90s. We got added to a radio station out in Chicago called B96 Radio, B96 FM in Chicago, and Stay With Me Tonight and Girls Do It Just for Fun went #1 on that radio station, which is one of the biggest stations in Chicago, aside from WGCI 107.5. So when I was a part of that singing group, I was the lead singer of that group, and we went on to do many, many shows and several videos that people can probably see on YouTube and stuff like that from back when I was a young skinny boy. And as you know, along the years, people go their separate ways, and people go on to do other things and stuff like that. And freestyle music kind of took a little bit of a hiatus, shall I say, for just a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And and FM radio took a turn and started playing a lot of more hip hop music, and then slowly but surely pop music came back into the game, as well as some R&B. So in 2018. I decided to, get back in the ring, and decided to put a solo album out. and just, follow a dream that I've always had to have my own solo album, because I had always been in a group.
Mm-hmm.
So, I met a producer, his name is Sal Medina,
Mm-hmm.
and Sal Medina presented me with a track that Legacy was trying to do back in the 90s. So, he presented me with the track of the remix of that track, and I decided to, let's go back in the studio, let's try to do this whole thing over again. And I rewrote a lot of the lyrics that I had written back in the early days. I just kind of changed them up and added Spanish and stuff like that to it. And we wound up releasing it early on in, I believe it was 2019. And, the song did very, very well. And that was the birth of Jessee B, which is my real name. My name is Jessee. My middle initial is B. So I just decided to go by my name and middle name, Jessee B, and hence, that's how I back into the business as a solo artist and doing what you hear today with what you're going to play for all the fans.
Exactly. It's funny because, I had heard of the group Legacy. I knew of Legacy, but the problem was back in those days, they never really identified individual members. So I knew the group name, I just didn't know the individual members. And then when I got the first single, without what's the rest of it? Without
Your Love.
Without Your Love, right. When I got that, and I started seeing promotional pictures, I was like, well, this cat looks super young. This guy's got to be maybe 28, 29. And then you're telling me you were doing it back in in the late 80s, early 90s. I'm like, well, now I'm thinking well, he might be almost close to my age.
Yeah, I think I'm far from young, but thank you. I take that as a compliment.
And I'm not trying to wish any bad upon you. I'm just saying. I mean, this guy, he must be, have the top quality water wherever he's taking showers, because it's keeping him a lot younger than it does me. That's for sure.
That's good, man. Thank you so much.
But so you come back on the scene and you start picking up steam. With the songs as they're going now, and obviously This Is Life has done really well. As far as getting noticed and getting spins and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I want to ask you. I mean, coming as a male voice, kind of, again, obviously you've been around, but you're kind of you kind of fall into that more new school class, so to speak, because now you're going solo, so it's almost kind of like you're a new artist. So you're falling in the class of Benny Velez and Pico Ortiz and cats like that. Now when you hear a I don't even want to say the guy's name, but I'm sure you can guess what I'm talking about. A guy who thinks he's royalty, who thinks he's some kind of king. Put out these long Facebook videos and Instagram videos where he's saying all the, new male singers are garbage and, nobody knows how to produce anything right and, everything is bad and all stuff. And instead of trying to progress the genre, which he claims that he fully supports, he's kind of not motivating anybody to do anything when he, is saying things like that. So how did you interpret that, being you're in sort of the newer class, trying to establish?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure too well on what you're trying to touch on here, but if I believe I remember correctly, the story that you're saying, I don't take offense to anything that anybody has to say. I mean, everybody has their own prerogative and their own feelings about what they do. And one thing about myself is I have respect for everyone. I'm an old school artist, and yeah, I'm making new music, but I have respect for all the legends. I have respect for all the new school artists, and that's the way I carry myself. I can't control what somebody feels, and I can't control what others feel about how a person reacts or makes a statement. I mean, that's their prerogative and their opinion on what they feel. All I can say is I respect every artist, and I believe that every artist works hard, whether you're an old school artist or you're a new school artist. I'm an old school artist making new school music. A lot of people have now learned that about me, so a lot of people give me that kind of respect, and then a lot of people do, like you said, do classify me as a new school artist. I just appreciate the music, and I appreciate what everybody's doing. There are some legendary artists right now actually making new music, and they're and they're collaborating with artists, and they're putting music out on their own. So to say to my answer to that is, if anybody did take anything in the wrong way or take it personal, I can tell you one thing for sure, DJ Kazzeo, a fire was lit under every artist in 2020 because nothing but great music came out this year. So if that was the point that that specific artist or person was trying to make, then job well done, because everybody stepped it up this year, and I mean everybody. And you know that because you're playing a lot of the new music in 2020, and I commend you for that. I commend you for taking those risks and playing the new freestyle music and helping the genre move forward, because I believe in the end of it all, I believe that that's truly what everybody wants. Everybody just wants the artist to work hard, put quality music, take pride in what you do, to help this genre get to where it needs to go, so that FM radio like yourself and other FM radios can pick this music up and support the artist. Do you agree?
Yeah. I mean, I do. But just briefly, as far as like that being the motivation for what this guy said, I think more than anything, it was a happy accident, because with the pandemic, everybody was given the ability to, like, with their lives on hold, to really sit down and focus on music and not be distracted by, their job or, whatever else was going on. They had the time to really, like, focus and, like, put out quality stuff. So I think,
and you're right. I think you're absolutely right about that. And also, and listen, man, for starters, man, my prayers go out to all the families that are suffering through the pandemic. My prayers go out to those that have lost a loved one. My prayers go out to the families or the people that have, there was thousands of people that lost jobs. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, like, so my prayers go out to all those people, And with that said, the one at least positive thing that happened through this whole thing is promoters, DJs, and everybody, like you just said, was able to sit down and say, well, you know what, let me take a listen. Because when everything was wide open, you had promoters and everybody was too busy, and they weren't really listening to new music like when I came out with Without Your Love. It really wasn't being paid attention too much the way it should have been. But now that everybody, like you said, is sitting still, now they're watching, they're paying attention, they're listening, and they're saying, hey, you know what? This stuff is really good. And you know what? Let's give it an opportunity. And in 2021, I just pray and hope that, everybody can move forward in a positive way and do good for freestyle, you know what I mean? Because, we're blessed to have people like you play our music, and, that's all we can ask for, DJ Kazzeo. That's all.
Oh man, hey man, you better check your mailbox. I'll be sending you the check for the kind words real soon. Hey man, so we're about to jump into This Is Life. Tell me about this record before I run it.
This Is Life is actually written about what we're going through right now. The song that you're going to play next is my new release. Actually, on my schedule, that was the song that was scheduled to be released first. But when everything started happening, I put that song on the shelf. And I said, you know what? Some of my family members got sick. I lost some friends of mine that went away from this. We lost great freestyle artists to this pandemic, and and it was just put in my heart, man, that I had to write something, man, and I had to send a message, man. So I wound up writing This Is Life, due to the COVID pandemic. And if everybody goes to YouTube, they can watch the music video and they can see that I'm telling that story there. And and that's what was put in my heart. And together with the producer Joshua J. Dub Wiseman and Alexis E. Lopez from Puerto Rico and D. Marie Harris and D. Marie Entertainment, we made this record happen. We put this record together, and the fans accepted it well. And I'm just honored and blessed that everybody is able to relate this song and put it into their own lives. Whether they did have somebody that was suffering through the COVID, or whether they did lose their job, or whether they are suffering through depression, or whatever the case may be. that's what was put in my heart, and that's the message that I'm trying to deliver through the record.
Well, it's definitely mission accomplished, man, because this is fire right here. So let me run it. I want you to hold on the line. We're gonna come back and talk some more because, of course, you know I have a million questions as always. So you know, Jessee B, stay on the line, and this right here is your track. This one's "This Is Life." Check it out. Yes, and we're back right here. It's 90.9 FM KHTC Radio Bilingue. Yours truly, Kazzeo, doing it for you and yours, along with my very special guest, Mr. Jessee B. What's going on, my friend?
No, thank you guys for having me. And, you know, I forgot to mention, I just heard you play the remix of This Is Life, and that was done, you know, by Willie Valentine, you know, from Out in Artistic Records. And Willie Valentine also did a great job on doing the remix of This Is Life. So shout out to Willie. That cat's
a monster, man. He puts in work on his production like no one else, man.
Sure does.
You know, so there's a great many things. I mean, we talked about a few things in the last break, but now a couple other things I wanted to touch on. So I know that up until probably like 3 months ago or so, maybe summertime, you were doing a I believe it was a Tuesday afternoon or Tuesday night webcast type show. What happened with that?
Yeah, you're talking about on Instagram, and that was a Tuesday night trivia.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's funny. You know, it's funny you mentioned that because the story on that is, you know, one day I was sitting in my car, you know, and I have the Instagram account open, but, you know, freestyle artists mainly focus on Facebook for some reason, you know, but there are several artists, you know, that really focus on Instagram. So I told myself, you know, I need to start utilizing my Instagram a little bit more, you know, which for the listeners, you know, I go by Jessee B Music on Instagram, Jessee B Music on Instagram, and Jessee Jessee space B Music on Facebook if anybody's interested in following me. So I was sitting in my car one day, man, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to go live on Instagram, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going live on Instagram, and I'm seeing some of the followers that I have on Instagram come on there, and we just start chatting it up, and, you know, I'm playing music, and I got people, you know, guessing the song title and everything. So I start saying, you know what, let's play a little trivia here. And I start picking out songs, and I'm telling guys and girls, like, hey, first person to guess this song, I'll send you a T-shirt. First person to guess this song, I'll send you a CD or something, you know. And we started playing like that. And we started out with just a few people. And then I said, hey, would you guys like me to come and do this? Like, pick a day and a time, you know. And everybody picked, like, the day that we were on, Tuesday. Just come back this day, come back at this time, we'll be here. And I just started coming every Tuesday at 7. And I would play every freestyle artist that there is. I would play all their music. I would support them. Didn't matter who it was. And, you know, then people wanted to start coming on and join me as guests, and I started interviewing artists, you know, other freestyle.
Right.
Yeah, other freestyle artists. I started interviewing DJs, and they would come on, and, you know, next thing you know, the show started being very interesting, you know, and I did it for about 7 months, you know, throughout the year.
Yeah.
For about 7 months, just, you know, playing people's music and playing my music and interviewing artists, you know, but I'm putting an album out, and my schedule got really busy and really hectic to where it was very hard to continue committing to do that, you know, which, by the way, you know, I'm a recording artist. I'm not a you know, a video or a show host, you know.
Right.
So, but the fans really enjoyed it, you know. So, you know, we had a nice little final day celebration, all of us together, and, you know, and I told them, you know what, don't be down about it. I'm still going to come on Instagram. I'm still going to hang out. It just won't be specifically on Tuesday and specifically at 7. Just when you see the notification, just come out and hang out with me. We'll play music, we'll have fun, and I'll still hang out with my fans, you know, and you know, and I still do it on Facebook, so I get to see all the fans, and they still, you know, hang out with me, and, you know, they're the best fans in the world, man. You know, freestyle fans, man, they're the best fans in the world, and my fans, I love them with all my heart, so that's how that came about, you know.
You know, speaking of fans, we got to shout out Vera from Montreal. She called in a little earlier before you called and wanted to make sure that I played your music tonight, so Vera out in Montreal, international call. So shout out to her.
Yeah.
You know, she's,
yeah, Vera, we know Vera very well. Vera's a big, huge supporter, and you know, shout out to Vera and DME and all the DME dolls and everybody that supports Jessee B music. And we appreciate you guys very, very much for the support that you give to D. Marie Entertainment and DME music.
Right. No question, man. No question. You know, a lot of good stuff coming out. You know, also too, going back to the show you were doing, how it progressed to do like an interview show. I have to say, my favorite episode had to be the one with a very good friend of this show, with Sharon McFerrin. So thank you for, you know, treating her well and having her on. It was a great show.
Sharon McFerrin is amazing. She's a very good friend. She hung out with my sister, you know, because my family is all in California.
Really?
You know, so yeah, my family's all in California in the Palmdale area and such, you know.
Okay.
And, yeah, so, you know, I tend to go out that way a lot. And, you know, on my last and final show, you know, she blessed me, and she was my final guest of the Tuesday Night Trivia. And she's amazing. Her work is amazing. Her music's amazing. And she's just the nicest person, you know, her and her husband.
Definitely. You know, she... you know, she's giving beyond belief. I mean, there were a couple projects I was doing that really weren't related to freestyle. They were related to my radio shows, but not the freestyle show. And she just, like, you know, without any solicitation, she just like was like, hey, you know, if you need any, like, you know, help or, you know, counsel on it, here's what I think. And I was like, and it turned out to be awesome, you know, advice. So I'm very, and you know, going back to, you know, she being your last interview, I mean, if that's going to be the last one you're going to do, why not go out with a bang? I mean, that's the one to do right there.
Yeah, and it was an amazing interview, and we had a great time, and the fans showed up, and, you know, and they enjoyed spending time with Sharon, and, you know, hopefully one day her and I will cross the stage together and perform in the same show. You know, we're working on trying to get out to the West Coast and put some concerts together to happen over there, you know, and bring some of us from out this way to go out there and put on some shows. You know, I know that the West Coast tends to do a lot of old school concerts, you know, but, you know, we have a lot of great DJs right now on the West Coast that have begun to play this new freestyle music, including yourself. So hopefully, you know, we'll get to talking and meeting some of the promoters out there that are willing to combine the two. Bring some of the old schools and add some of the new, you know, and make these shows happen and start bringing awareness to the West Coast about what's happening in the Midwest and on the East Coast, and that's great new freestyle music.
Well, all I know is if you make it to Northern Cali or Central California, I expect an in-studio appearance. I don't want to, you know, have you call in from, like, you know, a half hour away. I'm like, man, drive over here, get in studio. I'm not trying to do this a half hour away, man.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You know I'm there. When we hit the West Coast, you know I'm definitely going to come through and hang out with you.
Hey, man, so you had mentioned just a couple minutes ago an album. So talk to me about the album, and then we'll get into Lost in the Music.
Okay, well, I'm about a song or two away from completing the album. And the album is pretty much all the songs that you've heard already, well, you know, from Without Your Love to Time Gone to, you know, my reggaeton song, Un Besito, One Kiss, to This Is Life, to the song I have now, Lost in the Music, and then the next two or so, and then I'll complete the album and put the whole entire album out of the whole collection of songs that I've just done, you know, and then begin working from there on that point, you know. So, you know, I'm back in the studio already. I'm just, you know, this song, Lost in the Music, is officially on all digital outlets tomorrow, tonight at midnight, actually. Tonight at midnight, it's on all digital outlets. And, you know, it's already on pre-order. You can go to all digital outlets right now on pre-order, or you can get the CD, which is a beautiful CD, on dmarieentertainment.com, and the CD is available. And, you know, the album will be done probably in the latter part of next year. And, you know, hopefully everybody will enjoy it. I really, really worked hard on it, and I just hope that everybody enjoys it and likes it.
You have a tentative name for it yet, or are you still waiting on that?
For the title of the album.
Yeah.
We're gonna decide on that when I'm done recording the final song. So I'm about 2 songs away,
Okay.
and I'm already back in the studio working on the next single, which is called "Breaking Me Down," and I'll record the song after that. The album will be ready, and then we'll decide. We want to give it a fitting name, so we want to make sure we title it correctly, and do the whole 9 yards and make the cover look, really, really beautiful and everything, so that the fans can enjoy it.
Yeah, man, absolutely. That's one of the things that with everything being digital now, getting hard copies. I mean, I love hard copies. I love vinyl. I mean, I'm a record guy, so
Yeah.
I mean, I love, the art that goes into it. So anything that is a hard copy, I'm into that,
Right. Well, for all the fans also, you're speaking of vinyl, we have vinyl for This Is Life also, and CDs, and that's all available there at the website too, dmarieEntertainment.com. So vinyl is actually slowly but surely trying to make a little bit of a comeback. I mean, it's not as strong as back in the old days, but like you, collectors are very interested in that kind of stuff, But the CDs, everybody's still really, really loving the CDs and the merchandising, like the T-shirts and sweaters and everything.
No doubt, man, no doubt. So real quick, before I jump into Lost in the Music, give out all your social media contacts, and then I'll mercifully let you go so you can say, oh, finally I'm done talking to this guy.
No, you're amazing, man. I had an awesome time with you, man, and you made it very comfortable for me, so I thank you.
Thank you, man.
But all the social media, basically, Jessee B Music on Facebook, JESSEE space B Music together on Facebook, and Jessee B Music together, JESSEE B Music on IG, Instagram, and dmarieEntertainment.com for all your vinyl and CDs and your clothing and merchandise. You can go to dmarieEntertainment.com, and tonight at midnight, Lost in the Music, all digital outlets, and it's available right now, digital outlets, on pre-release.
There you go, man. Everything you need to know, he just told you right there, man. Jessee B, once again, I want to thank you for taking the time to call in tonight. And, anytime you want to come back on, man, you're more than welcome. We're connected on all social media, so all you got to do is reach out, and we'll make it happen, all right?
I really appreciate the invite, DJ Kazzeo. Thank you for all you do, and thank you for supporting our music. And it's been a pleasure and an honor to be on your show.
Likewise, man. I'll talk to you soon, all right?
Take care.
All right, man. Peace.